One of the oldest forms of arcade games, the pinball machine has seen a steady decline in popularity following the golden age of the arcade of the 1980s. It's getting harder and harder to find a physical machine these days, much less an actual arcade. Despite all that, however, the pinball experience has endured over the years, and a number of pinball simulations have been made for home computers, consoles, and even handhelds. The newest generation of gaming has only just begun, but pinball games are already being made for the latest consoles. One quality pinball video game that perhaps not too many people are familiar with is Kyuutenkai, a Japan-only 1995 release for the PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn from Tecnosoft. I own a copy of it for the Saturn, so I'll talk about that version for this video. Anyway, this game was published right after Tecnosoft completed Nekketsu Oyako, which I talked about in my last video, and in fact Kyuutenkai is advertised briefly in that game's startup sequence. The game is a lighthearted, 2D fantasy-themed pinball game with colorful graphics and a quirky cast of characters that truly is fantastic, as the cover so proudly proclaims, typo and all. 3 heroes have been called upon to fight in a pinball-esque world to prevent the resurrection of the devil, who was previously sealed away centuries ago by the ancestors of the protagonists. With this story setup, you'd expect the game to be structured into levels like Sonic Spinball for the Sega Genesis, or have adventure game elements like an epic quest mode. But no. The game takes place entirely on one long table, split up into 3 different sections: Heaven, Earth, and the Underworld. It's unfortunate that the game is limited to just this one table, but it's really well designed, the ball physics are pretty good, and there are tons of interesting things to accomplish on it. The 3 selectable characters all have a unique special skill and the theme song to set them apart. There is the swordsman, Sword Shield, yes, that really is his name, whose strike sword special skill increases damage by 3 times, making him the power character. The mage Yuki Tonae has a fire comet ability that will multiply score by 3, which makes her best suited for getting high scores. And then there's the newly born Dragon Man, Dragon Baby, Midoran, whose special ability, the Option Shell, creates a set of extra balls that trail the main one, multiplying both attack and score by 1.5, and thereby making him the most balanced choice of the 3. These special attacks are activated when certain conditions are met, and last for a very brief period of time. Control and gameplay are very basic in Kyuutenkai. First off, you have the option between a fast or slow ball. Pressing any direction on the D-pad controls the left flipper, pressing A, B, or C controls the right flipper, and pressing either of the shoulder buttons will nudge the game table in their respective direction. In my opinion, this setup can be problematic, since using your index or middle finger allows for faster reaction times than using your thumbs, something that is crucial when Twitch gameplay is involved. Sadly, there's no option to change controls, as I would have preferred that the shoulder buttons control the flippers and the face buttons to nudge the table, but I got used to it soon enough. Pressing any of the top row of face buttons brings up a menu, and from there you can turn off the BGM, check the scoreboard, and save your progress, which includes your scores and how many lives you have remaining. Saving is a nice feature, and if you're fast enough, you can save just before you die, because when you reload your file, you begin at the plunger rather than in the exact location you were previously. When you lose all of your lives, there's no option to restart the game and you're sent back to the title screen. This can be frustrating because of the somewhat long load times in Kyuutenkai. There are a lot of different characters scattered throughout the game world, and make things more humorous and intriguing than your standard pinball game. One example I'll bring up is the goddess in the Earth section, who will send you up to the Heaven section if you land in her hand. But smack her in the face a few times and she'll get pissed, and the next time she catches you, she'll shoot lasers out of her eyes, killing any enemies on screen. From there, she'll rearrange some bumpers and release you back into the Earth section. Anyway, the goal of the game is to defeat the 4 bosses that inhabit the game world so you can go on to fight the final battle. There's Succubus, who is trapped in a waterfall in the Heaven section, Usako, a strange girl in a bunny suit who is constantly climbing up the neck of a derp-faced dinosaur in the Earth section, and who also looks eerily similar to Nami from the Keiou Gekitai series. Harpy, who resides in the underworld and looks like she should have been the Succubus character for obvious reasons. And finally there's Satan, Lord of the Underworld, and basically Kid Dracula when he runs out of hair gel. You fight these bosses by getting 2 or more of their portraits to appear on the Earth section bumpers, which basically function as a slot machine. An entryway will open up near the boss, and from there, you must complete a mini-game using 1 ball and within a time limit to achieve victory. These boss fights are pretty fun and remind me a bit of the bonus rounds in the aforementioned Sonic Spinball. Harpies stage involves you destroying all items in a small room within a short time limit. And to defeat Satan, you must score 4 soccer goals against him as he dons the role of goalie and dives sporadically around the net. I love how his cheerleaders pout when you score a point against him. This method of progression sounds good, but it's these slot machine bumpers where my only really big gripe with Kyuutenkai stems from. Since the conditions for unlocking boss challenges is essentially random, it can take a long time before you can partake in all of the battles. I was able to challenge and defeat Satan, Harpy, and Succubus relatively early on, so the only boss that remained was Usako. Well, after playing the game for several hours, defeating the other bosses time and time again, and in the process capping the high score, I finally got to challenge Usako, and then proceeded to fail miserably at her stage. I tried playing a few more times, but I couldn't get to her boss challenge again, so I was unable to face the final boss, who looks like a lot of fun, judging from the back of the game case. One more small thing that I took issue with in this game was how gaining extra balls are handled, which is also related to the slot machine bumpers. Normally in pinball, extra balls are gained with the score, and sometimes you get extra plays when you lose all your balls, but not in this game. Even maxing out the score gives you nothing. In order to get an extra life, you must get 3 crab enemy portraits to appear simultaneously in the Earth section, which only happened to me twice over the span of 5 hours. Well, that's Kyuutenkai, a great pinball game marred only by a few bad gameplay design choices. Maybe someday there'll be a great fantasy adventure RPG pinball hybrid, but in the meantime, the world of Kyuutenkai will have to do. The wackiness and charm of its characters and game table make it worth picking up even for people who aren't really big into pinball. As always, thank you for watching, and please leave a comment, rate, or subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw, and check out my channel for more videos like this one.